How can a 200-ton Boeing 777, considered one of the safest and most advanced passenger jets in the world, simply vanish from the sky? How can 239 people disappear into thin air without a single mayday call, without any immediate trace of wreckage? This is the story of Flight MH370, a mystery that doesn't begin with a crash, but with a deep, eerie silence. The last routine flight. It all began as a perfectly ordinary red-eye flight. March 8, 2014. At 12:42 a.m. local time, Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 departed from Kuala Lumpur International Airport, bound for Beijing, China. On board were 227 passengers and 12 crew members. The aircraft was a reliable Boeing 777-200ER. The cockpit was commanded by the experienced Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah and his first officer Farik Hamid. For every passenger on the plane and for the air traffic controllers on the ground, it was just like any other night. No one knew they were about to fly into the greatest aviation mystery of our time, the last goodbye. Good night, Malaysian 370. Everything was perfectly normal. The flight reached its cruising altitude and was on its scheduled path. At 1:19 a.m., the aircraft was over the South China Sea when Malaysian Air Traffic Control, ATC, instructed the flight to contact the Vietnamese ATC. Good night, Malaysian 370. These were the last words ever heard from the flight. Off the radar, exactly 2 minutes later, at 1:21 a.m., something strange happened. The aircraft's transponder was suddenly turned off. The transponder is the device that transmits the plane's identity, speed, and altitude to civilian radar. Without the transponder, the plane vanished from civilian radar screens. But this was not the end. Malaysian military's primary radar continued to track the aircraft. What the military radar saw was stunning. 1. The aircraft made a sharp, deliberate U-turn from its path to Beijing. 2. It flew back over Malaysia. It then turned towards the Andaman Sea and flew out of the military radar's range. This was a deliberate act. Someone had manually turned off the plane's communication systems and diverted it from its course. While the plane was invisible to all radars, another system on board was still quietly operating. This was the Satellite Data Unit, SDU. This system was communicating with a satellite owned by Inmarsat, a British company, through a series of pings, or handshakes. These pings were automatic and occurred every hour. The Inmarsat data revealed that even after disappearing from radar, the plane remained in the air for 7 more hours, until 8:19 a.m., responding to these pings. These pings did not contain location data, but they allowed scientists to calculate the plane's distance from the satellite. Based on this data, they plotted 2 possible routes, or arcs, a northern arc towards Central Asia, and a southern arc towards the Indian Ocean. The northern arc was dismissed, so the entire search effort was focused on the southern arc, in the ocean west of Australia. The final ping came at 8:19 a.m., which indicated the plane had run out of fuel and was descending rapidly towards the ocean. The largest search in history. Based on this Inmarsat data, the largest, most expensive, and most difficult search operation in history began. Australia led this search. For years, ships used sonar technology and high-tech underwater drones to scan over 120,000 square kilometers of the ocean floor. January 2017. After 3 years of relentless searching, with no sign of the main wreckage or the black box, the official search operation was suspended. What the ocean returned. While the main wreckage was never found, in 2015, more than a year after the crash, the ocean began to return pieces of the plane. July 2015. The first piece of debris, a flaperon, part of the wing, washed ashore on Reunion Island, near Africa. Following this, over 30 more pieces were found on the coasts of Mozambique, South Africa, and Mauritius. These pieces confirmed 2 things. 1. The plane did crash in the Indian Ocean. The crash was a high-speed and catastrophic event. More than 10 years have passed, but without the black box, no one knows for certain what happened on that flight. The main theories are: 1. Pilot-led event, suicide murder, that the captain deliberately crashed the plane into the ocean. 2. Hijacking, terrorism, that someone hijacked the plane. However, no group has ever claimed responsibility. 3. Technical failure, ghost flight, that a fire or lack of oxygen, hypoxia, incapacitated everyone on board, and the plane flew on autopilot for 7 hours until it ran out of fuel. Today, MH370 remains the biggest mystery in aviation. 239 families are still waiting for their loved ones, without any answers. Until that black box is found, this story will remain incomplete. What do you think happened to flight MH370? Share your theory in the comments.